guys, it's Darlene from Couture. I often have people ask me, can you use a regular stencil with the chalk paste? Well, we're going to try this out. So Couture makes silk screen transfers that have adhesive on the back, and they have a silk screen in them. This is just a regular stencil, so it has cutout areas. This one does have adhesive on the back though. So let's go ahead and try this out. And I should have just tried a small transfer, but you know what? Go big or go home, right? So we're gonna go ahead and try this today. This will be a fun project and we'll test it out and see how it works. This one is from Folk Art. I got this at Michael's. It says adhesive stencil. And at first I pulled and pulled and pulled and tried to separate it, thinking that this is not adhesive. And finally the backing started to come off. So I was able to do that. We are going to fuzz this just like we do our Couture transfers. We're going to do exactly the same way. I have a board here. This is 1/4 inch Baltic birch plywood, and I've painted it black. I used acrylic paint. You can see. Yes, I'm messy. That's my middle name. So, okay, putting that to the side, getting that out of the way. I painted it, I sanded it, and then I waxed it. And I like to use Howard Premium Paste Wax. It just takes a little bit. You're just going to dab your rag in there. And it did take off some of the black as I was buffing and getting it worked in there. It does take off a little bit of that paint, and you would rather it be taken off and go onto your rag than onto the back of your stencil or transfer. So that's the whole purpose of waxing, is to put a little protectant in between. So we're ready to go. This is a little slick, and that's exactly how it needs to be. I'm gonna grab some paper towels here because we know I'm messy. I'll need those for my fingers. I also have paper towels ready that are damp. So I put these under the water and then I squeeze them out. They are just damp. We are not going to be able to do the chalk and peel method because this is plasticky. It's not vinyl, so it's not going to pull up nicely. So we're going to do the whole thing and then we'll pull it. This is a test, guys. We'll see. I have my squeegees here ready. What we're going to do is we are going to use our chalk paste. We have our various colors here. This is Peacock. I have these all stirred up and ready. You want it to be the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. This one is Peony. This one is wild raspberry. We have grape soda. We're getting to the bottom of that one. And we have lilac. Then this one, let me take a peek. I had to switch and I'll tell you why. So this one is green MV. I opened up my garden herb and it's too runny. That's too runny. You don't want it that runny. It will bleed underneath. So I'm just going to set that to the side and let it thicken up. What happened was I sprayed too much water in it and it just needs to sit. So it will probably within 20 minutes it'll be thickened up. This is currant jam. So I have figured out what I'm going to do. This is going to be in Peacock. These are going to be, this is going to be garden herb. The little berries are going to be currant. And same down here. The greenery will be green envy. And then the berries will be currant. And this, I'm going to do a hot mess. So I'm going to take my peony, I'm going to take my wild berry, my grape soda, and my lilac. This is a retired color. This, you could mix this. You could take your grape soda and you could mix a light purple. So I'm going to take those four. I'm going to do my butterfly with that. And I don't want to get stuff all over this. I am probably going to we'll do the butterfly first. And I'm going to tape off some of this area so that I don't make a mess. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel the backer off of this, and I'm going to fuzz it on my towel here. This is our fuzzing cloth. You could use a regular towel. You need to use our beautiful fuzzing cloths. For a long time, we did not have them. We simply had a towel that we just used old towels. We just made sure that your towel had been washed. Okay, this is going to be tricky. I think that what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put this back onto one of our backer sheets because it's doubtful that I'll be able to line this up where the little holes are. It's more tricky than our transfers are. It keeps wanting to stick back onto itself there on the plastic, and I need to make sure I get all of this off in one piece. I don't want little pieces stuck onto the back. So remember, this is a test. It could fail. I should have just started with something small, but that's okay. I'm okay with trying something big. If it doesn't work, then at least we tried, right guys? I have people ask me all the time, can you use it? And I tell them yes, but it's different. So we're gonna see just how different it is. It's really hard to take this part off because with a stencil, the letters are cut with a little relief area. Whereas with Chalk Couture, you have your screen in there, and peeling off the backer is all one long piece. But I'm going to get this. It's just, I don't want to rip anything. I want to do this carefully. And I do not know if this could be used again. Let me look on the instructions. So the directions tell me, let dry and remove stencil. It does not tell me if the stencil is reusable. It probably is, but you would have to put it back on something. And there's no way I'm going to get it back onto this sheet exact because there's all these little cutouts. I will use some of the Chalk Couture transfer sheets. I think I have some. Well, they're just this. So what I'll do is I'll just cut some and I'll fit it on there. Okay, I'm going to fuzz this because I don't want it to peel up my paint. I'm going to fuzz this just like I would with a Chalk Couture transfer. This is quite sticky. Sticky's good because that means that the chalk paste should not go underneath of it. Make sure my surface is nice and clean. And that the hole, I cut this with my laser, so the hole is right up at the top there. Gonna go ahead and get this centered on here. I think that needs to turn just like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press down just like I do with my transfers, my Chalk Couture transfers. All right. Gonna very carefully use this squeegee. I'm not pushing hard. I'm just trying to see if there's any air bubbles, because as you move, you'll see if the stencil, so hard to say the word stencil because I'm so used to saying transfer with Chalk Couture. So a stencil is just a cutout area. A transfer has the silk screen in it. So there's a difference. Okay, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do the butterfly first. I'm going to tape off these other areas so that I don't get my chalk paste all over that. We're going to use the hot mess method, and it could seriously become a hot mess. I have lots of blue painter's tape. We use this with our laser business, and we buy the huge contractors bundle. So I'm not afraid to just use a lot because I would rather have my areas protected. Everybody knows that Darlene tends to get messy. Okay, and I have my paper towels waiting to put over the top of this to keep the moisture in. So a hot mess. A hot mess is simply taking your chalk paste and plopping some here and there, and then we are going to squeegee this together and swirl our colors a little bit. So a little bit here, a little bit there. It goes a long ways. It really does. You're not going to need as much as you think you need. Okay, a little bit of each of these colors. I think this is going to be really pretty. I'm actually excited to do this and see if it works. I hope it works, because there's people that use these transfers, and if they could use our chalk paste also, it dries so easily and quick, and is an easy cleanup. It'll just give them other options. Okay, I think I have enough. I'm going to take our 4-inch handled squeegee, and I'm going to just start spreading this here and there. Whoops, you know what? And it raised up. That is a problem. Okay, so it actually did not adhere all the way down, that piece. That's okay. We're going to just be really careful with this. So that's something that we're going to have to know, is that it's not as sticky as our Chalk Couture transfers. Okay, I'm going to switch to a regular squeegee, and I'm going to have to add in a little more color here and there. Didn't quite have enough. And you have to work quickly. So maybe this would have been a better choice. I'm not going to dismiss that the transfer isn't going to work, because it did lift in that one area, but I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to work this quickly. We're going to get our color here, have it all blended together. So the good thing is that the chalk paste is not going to dry on the silkscreen transfer, because there isn't one. So that's a good thing about this. Let's get a little more color in here. Just a little, so we can finish this out, making sure that all of my areas have chalk paste on them. It's kind of blending into a purpley color, and it's not working as well as I thought it would. It honestly is not. It's a different material. It's harder to get the chalk paste down through this. The silk screen is really thin, so that makes it really easy. So we may just end up with a purple butterfly, and I'm okay with that. I have some other areas over here that still need some chalk paste. And the thing that I'm finding is that what happens is it doesn't have anything to adhere to, like the silk screen. So in some areas when I'm scraping it, it's just coming back off the board. So it's not completely even. Like with your silk screen, you have something to press against. And this might work better on a smaller area. This is a pretty big project here. Pretty aggressive to try. I keep going over it and worrying about it drying, but it's okay if it dries because there's no silk screen. Okay, I think that's as good as I'm gonna get it. I keep worrying about it and it just keeps taking some of it off. It's because there's no silk screen there. All right, let's get some paper towels on it, get some moisture back into this. Okay, that is the key, is to kind of get that moist again. All right, So what I can do is I can peel up my blue painter's tape and I can do the top area and then I can do the bottom and see it's lifting. It does, even though it's adhesive, it is not sticking as well as it should. So it's going to be interesting how it looks underneath that. We'll see. And it's sticking, the blue painter's tape is sticking to me. All right, so we'll do the top and then we'll go down, we'll do the bottom. No worries, I have more paper towels so we can make sure that we keep the areas covered that we need to. All right, so next, let's go ahead and do, let's do Papillon. And that I'm gonna do with my peacock. So I'm gonna put it up here and then spread it onto there. Let's see if that works better rather than putting it right into it. And I will use a mini squeegee and I'm just gonna work it carefully. We're gonna see if that works better. Being careful where the letters open, where they have an open area. Once again, what I'm finding is that because there's no silk screen there, there's nothing to grab it and hold it down under to the surface below. So it will work, but it's not going to be the same as with our Chalk Couture transfers. Okay, I'm going to take a wider one and just go over this. So I have a nice wide area and it's all even. Want to give it the best chance possible to have the chalk paste there. It's going to be kind of a varied color because it's not covering as nice as it should because, or as nice as a silkscreen transfer would. Okay, that's, you know, we're just testing this. We're seeing. Going to go ahead and do my little leaves here. Going to do that with my multi-tool. It's so different to scrape and it comes back off because the silk screen did not pull it because there isn't one. Usually you're pressing it down through here onto the silk screen. So it's just different. I'm not going to say it's failing. We'll see when we pull it off. But I wanted to test it out and this was really a really neat transfer. Okay, I'm going to use Currant Jam for the berries. I'm going to use a multi-tool for that. Sorry if my head's in the way. My big old head. Getting that noggin in the way. Oh my goodness. Nothing new about that. Just a little different because you would see with the Chalk Couture transfers, it grabs that chalk paste, it goes down below the silk screen, makes it really easy to do this. Okay, we're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, I'm gonna put this up on top and we're gonna go down to the bottom and get that done. And then we will be pulling our transfer soon. So it's going to take off this blue painter's tape so we know where we're doing this at. Have a lot of our leaves down at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to throw this away. Get this out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and do the leaves first. There's quite a few of them. Then I'll go back and I'll do all the berries. It's different. You actually have to leave a little bit more of the chalk paste on there because otherwise it just scrapes right off. It's really different. But I always like to try something new. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying something new, seeing if it works. Because I have so many people ask me and I tell them, yes, you can use it with it, but it's different. Your results aren't going to be the same. So now I want to kind of prove that and say, okay, this is why, and this is what it's going to look like if you use something else. Our transfers are made specifically for this. They work really well. They give such a nice crisp finish to it when you pull it off. See, it doesn't even want to really stick down in there, and I'm not gonna judge it till we actually pull the whole thing off and take a look at it. But it's always worth trying something new, and then I can say I've tried it, I don't like it, or I do like it. Then I can have an opinion. Right now, all I can say, I've seen people use it and it works, but it's different. And I suppose you could get silkscreen and put it in this, but why would you want to go to all that trouble and time when you could just buy a regular silkscreen transfer from Couture? Okay, now I got to do all the berries and the sticks. I'm just going to do them with the currant jam, even though, oops, I missed a leaf. Even though the stick part probably should be a different color, I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to get this project going, and we're just going to do it all with the currant jam. I'm using my multi-tool. Gets in those little areas. Hopefully I don't mix it in too much with my green envy. Getting a little more dab there. It actually is pretty difficult. You can't scrape it off like normal. If you try to scrape it off, then it comes completely off. We don't want to do that. So I'm just going to, for the sake of getting it done, I am just going to get it finished, and then we're going to pull this and see how it looks. Have our little test. Does it work? Does it not work? So we're almost there. We're getting there. Few more berries. I feel like I'm wasting so much because with the silk screens, you could scrape off tons of this, but I don't want to do that with my transfer and with this one because it's just coming back off the board. All right, let me peel this off and let's take a look at it and make sure we got everything. Okay, looks good. Put this into my trash. Okay, let me just go right here. Okay, I'm ready to peel it off and let's see what we have. Put these guys into my water bath real quick. Okay, here we go. All right, well, it looks okay. It's not perfect. The areas it pulled up, and that could just be that I should have used a regular squeegee instead of the 4-inch, so that I'm not going to worry about. That probably wouldn't happen again. I can wash this off. I have a little bit of other color that I can fix. It looks okay. So it does work. There's areas I'm going to touch up because I got the red onto the green, but no big deal. So yes, it would work. It's not perfect. It's not exactly how you would probably want it, but that's okay. You can make it work. People don't know how it's supposed to look. It's a little blotchy here and there, but I think it looks great. So I'm going to say yes, this does work, but I'm going to wash this. I think it's going to stay sticky. We'll see. And I'll let you know. I will put that in the comments whether it stayed sticky and can be used again. And I'll do my little touch up with my little stylus. So that is just, it's just this right here. So I could take my chalk paste and I could touch up these little areas where I got the wrong color over it. It's a little bit harder with a stencil instead of a transfer, but it wasn't a fail. How about that? Maybe my chalking my chalking might have failed a little bit, but I'll touch this all up. I'll take a picture, I'll put it into the comments, and you'll be able to see that. So thanks for joining me.